Egypt reaffirms commitment to strengthening ties and supporting Gabon's development. Prime Minister Madbouli announces the completion of Mahalla Mill's revival, costing £56 billion. And Suez Canal Authority successfully trials a double-track project in Small Bitter Lake. And you're watching the latest updates from Egypt on Qnews. Let's move to the latest developments. And Egypt's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Badr Abdelati, has reaffirmed Egypt's commitment to strengthening cooperation with Gabon. During his meeting with Gabon's President Brice Oligui Nguema, Abdelati emphasized the strong bilateral ties and Egypt's readiness to provide technical support, facilitate technology transfer, and implement capacity-building programs to enhance the skills of Gabonese personnel across various sectors. Egypt's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Badr Abdelati, attended the Egypt-Gabon Business Forum in Libreville alongside the Gabonese President Ali Bongo Ondimba and 7 ministers. Abdelati emphasized the significant role of the Egyptian companies in supporting the African development, with investments surpassing $14 billion. He praised the Egyptian companies for completing projects quickly and at competitive prices. Egypt's Foreign Minister Badr Abdelati also met with his Gabonese counterpart in Libreville during an official visit. The two discussed strengthening bilateral relations with a focus on boosting economic and trade ties. Abdelati brought major Egyptian companies to explore investment opportunities in infrastructure, energy, and healthcare. The ministers also addressed key regional issues, emphasizing cooperation to enhance security, stability, and multilateral coordination across Africa. Egypt's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Badr Abdelati, also met with his Spanish counterpart, José Manuel Albares, to discuss the latest developments in Gaza and Syria. During the meeting, Albares reaffirmed Spain's full support for Khalid El-Anani's candidacy for the position of UNESCO Director General. El-Anani's nomination is supported by both the African Union and the Arab League following their meeting last month. And Egypt's Foreign Minister, Badr Abdelati, has delivered a message from President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi to the Chadian President Mohamed Idris Deby, underscoring the strong historical ties between the two nations. Minister Abdelati emphasized Egypt's willingness to support Chad in building dams and drilling wells to collect rainwater for use in remote desert areas. And Egypt's Foreign Minister Badr Abdelati has attended the closing ceremony of a training program organized by the Cairo International Center for Conflict Resolution, Peacekeeping and Peace Building in Chad. The program, held with the Chadian ministries, addressed transnational threats like terrorism, trafficking, and illegal migration. Abdelati reaffirmed Egypt's commitment to sharing expertise, strengthening Chad's institutions, and tackling displacement from regional conflicts. He highlighted Egypt's successes in combating trafficking and urged greater cooperation for regional security and development. The Arab League Secretary General Ahmed Abul Ghait has strongly condemned Israeli Minister Ben Gvir's provocative visit to the Aqsa Mosque, during which he led a group of extremist settlers. The raid was a deliberate provocation intended to escalate tensions. Abul Ghait emphasized that such actions, supported by the Israeli police, expose Israel's extremist agenda and undermine peace efforts. He warned that Israel's violations at Al-Aqsa offend the feelings of 2 billion Muslims worldwide and hinder interfaith coexistence in the region. Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli has announced the completion of the first phase of the Mahalla Spinning and Weaving Mills Revival Project. During a tour of the Mahalla Spinning Mills, Madbouli revealed the project's total cost exceeds 56 billion Egyptian pounds. He emphasized the government's commitment to revitalizing the spinning and weaving industry and maximizing the use of Egyptian cotton. And the Minister of Housing, Sharif al-Shirbini, has inspected the Fustat Hills Park project to review its implementation status. The project is being carried out by the Central Agency for Reconstruction. The Fustat Hills Park is one of the largest parks in the Middle East, spanning 500 acres in a central location in the heart of historic Egypt. The park includes 8 areas and 14 gates. The Minister of Health and Population, Khaled Abdel Ghaffar, has announced that the presidential initiative Bidaya has provided 288 million services to the citizens over the course of 100 days. The minister added that these services included 148,819 surgical interventions under the initiative to clear patient waiting lists, with the central bank contributing 14,072 operations. Additionally, 1,525 medical convoys covering various specialties were launched, providing 1,587 403 services. The initiative also supported the infrastructure of university hospitals across different governorates, with a contribution of 1.2 billion Egyptian pounds from the central bank, set to continue until 2025. The Ministry of Health and Population has announced the inclusion of 193 neonatal intensive care units in hospitals under its authority, affiliated bodies and private centers as part of the first phase of the Raya initiative for newborn care. The ministry's spokesperson, Hossein Abdel Ghaffar, stated that the first phase governorates of the Raya initiative include Kafr al-Sheikh, Gharbeya, Fayoum, Red Sea, Matruh, and Minya. He also highlighted the training of 620 healthcare providers, including department heads, medical teams, and nursing staff in neonatal intensive care units at the Ministry of Health hospitals. The Minister of Labour, Mohammed Gabran, has stated that the ministry, in cooperation with the private sector, successfully provided more than 80,000 job opportunities domestically in 2024 within private sector companies. He added that the number of workers obtaining work permits abroad this year reached 467,898. The minister noted that overseas job opportunities were facilitated through the ministry's labor representation offices abroad or through government platforms. The National Council for Women has organized a coordination meeting on the role of council branches in provinces to combat violence against women. The meeting was attended by the council head, Amal Ammar, and deputy head, Nisreen al-Baghdadi, via the video conference. The meeting discussed financial and administrative matters, with key speakers emphasizing the importance of safe women's units in hospitals for supporting victims of violence. The Council highlighted Egypt's 2016 initiative to provide essential services for women facing violence and discussed future projects to support women's empowerment and fight violence. The Minister of Labour, Mohammed Gabr, and the Cairo Governor, Ibrahim Sabir, have handed out 90 job contracts to youth, including 70 for people with disabilities. They also distributed 14 certificates for completing sewing and embroidery training courses from ministry centres in Cairo. The event highlighted Egypt's President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi's directives to align training with labour market needs and integrate people with disabilities into the workforce as part of the New Beginning for Building Humanity initiative. Chairman of the Suez Canal Authority, Lieutenant General Osama Rabia, has announced the successful trial operation of the Suez Canal's double-track project in the small Bitter Lake as part of the development of the southern sector of the canal. The trial involved the passage of 2 ships through the new canal route after dredging operations were completed from kilometer 122 to kilometer 132 of the canal. Lieutenant General Rabia emphasized that the authority took several measures to ensure the success of the trial operation, including equipping the new waterway with buoys and necessary navigational aids at the project site. Additionally, 2 escort tugboats were deployed for navigational safety, and a team of experienced canal pilots were assigned to guide the vessels through the new track after conducting an inspection of the project site. The Minister of Public Business Sector, Mohammed El-Shimi, has stated that the government seeks turning Egypt into a regional and international hub for spinning and weaving industry in order to promote its industrial and economic status in the international arena. During an inspection tour of factories of Misr Spinning and Weaving Company in El Mahalla Al Kubra, Shimi said that the state's keenness on developing the spinning and weaving sector, which is one of the most important sectors of the national industry, and commitment to developing all production tools in the sector to confront global challenges. Ahmed Shaker, the managing director of the Cotton and Textile Industries Holding Company, has asserted that the company's strategy is to restore the pioneering position of the Egyptian cotton and capture more than 20% of the global market. The company has started an ambitious plan in 2014 to upgrade the sector of cotton, spinning and weaving, which has represented 40% of the Egyptian economy in the past and went down to represent only 2.5% to 5%, he said. Monetary Policy Committee of the Central Bank of Egypt decided to keep the overnight deposit and lending rates unchanged at 27.25% and 28.25% respectively, with the main operation rate steady at 27.75%. Similarly, the credit and discount rate remains fixed at 27.75%, and this adjustment reflects the Central Bank of Egypt's progressive move towards a comprehensive inflation targeting framework. The Minister of Investment and Foreign Trade, Hassan El-Khatib, Thailand's Minister of Commerce, Pichai Naripthathan, have signed a memorandum of understanding to establish a joint trade committee and a comprehensive economic cooperation plan. The Minister El-Khatib has highlighted Egypt's goal to become a regional hub for trade and investment by fostering a dynamic and competitive economy that attracts global investors and creates a conducive business environment to drive economic growth. And that brings us to the end of our news bulletin, and here's what we have been covering. Egypt reaffirms commitment to strengthening ties and supporting Gabon's development. Prime Minister Madbouli announces the completion of Al Mahalla Mills revival costing £56 billion. And Suez Canal Authority successfully trials a double-track project in the small Bitter Lake. And that's all for now. Remember to stay updated by following Qnews for the latest developments.